Now this zina, as I told you, whether it is with the consent or it is forced, it's a cognizable offense according to the law of Islam. And as you must be knowing, the had, the punishment that our deen has prescribed, in two different conditions it is different. If the man or woman is married, then stoning to death, although it has not been expressly mentioned in the Quran. But it is the law of Torah which was continued by the practice of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Law of Torah, which Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam made imperative, applicable to the Muslims. And he himself ordered the stoning to death of 2 or 3 persons who came and themselves said that we have committed this crime, who confessed themselves. And now those who are unmarried, it's absolutely logical. If somebody is hungry, dying with hunger, and if he is committing a theft, it's a different type of act. And if he is doing it without that need of food, then it's a different affair. And that is why the second Caliph of Islam, Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he suspended the punishment of the cutting of hands when there was famine in the whole of the country. Because out of famine people might feel, compelled to commit some theft. So he suspended the law of the Quran for some time due to this famine. So that is the wisdom behind it, that there should be some difference, because there are some people, and I am very sorry, that one at least, whom I respect very much, one Mufassir, from whom I have benefited a lot. I have written it in detail, that I have benefited from 4 sources regarding my understanding of Quran. And incidentally, I have 2 big names regarding every source. Number 1, Abul Kalam, Abul Ala, Abawain. Number 2, Maulana Farahi, Maulana Islahi. Number 3, Dr. Iqbal, Dr. Rafiuddin. And number 4, Shaykhul Hind, Maulana Mahmud Hassan, and Shaykhul Islam, Maulana Shabir Ahmed Usmani. I have 2 Shaykhain, 2 Abawain, 2 Hiyain, 2 Doctorain, 2 doctors, Iqbal and Rafiuddin, 2 Abawain, Abul Kalam, Abul Ala, Rahimahumallah, 2 His, Farahi, Islahi, and 2 Shaykhain, Shaykhul Hind, Maulana Mahmud Hassan, the prisoner of Malta, Asir Malta, the freedom fighter. And number 2, Shaykhul Islam, the first and the last, the only Shaykhul Islam of Pakistan, and he was Maulana Shabir Ahmed Usmani. And I am very sorry that Maulana Islahi went the way of the Munkareen of Hadith, Munkareen Sunnah, regarding this issue and this subject of Rajm, of stoning to death. But it's absolutely logical that the punishment of zina to a person who is married, who has that, opportunity of satisfying his sexual urge, and zina of a person who is unmarried, who doesn't have that means of satisfying his sexual urge. The punishment to both of them cannot be equal. It shouldn't be equal. It would be absolutely illogical. And that is what we find. To married woman or man, stoning to death. I told you, it's the law of Torah confirmed and applied in Islam by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then if the persons are, whether male or female, who have committed zina, if they are unmarried, then 100 stripes. Now this is the legal aspect of zina. But the Prophet ﷺ has stressed it. Because I told you, Quran says, La taqrabu zina. Keep away from it. Keep at a safe distance from it. And now this has been very beautifully given by the Prophet ﷺ, that actually this adultery and fornication is the final confirmation of a process which has many preliminary steps. Zina of the eyes, zina of the ears, zina of the heart, zina of the hand, zina of the feet and legs. This is the hadith from Hazrat Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, included by Imam Muslim rahimahullah in his Sahih, collection of authentic Ahdees. فَالْعَيْنَانُ زِنَاهُمَا النَّظْرِ. The zina of the eyes is seeing the na-mahram, whom you shouldn't see, woman whom you shouldn't see. And you are taking pleasure in seeing her. وَالْأُذُنَانِ زِنَاهُمَا الْإِسْتِمَاعُ. And these ears, they also commit zina. When they hear the feminine voice of some woman, because there is, a beauty in the voice also. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has produced these things. Feminine voice. You are listening to the voice and you are taking some pleasure. وَاللِّسَانُ زِنَاهُ الْكَلَامُ. Zina of the tongue is talking to the na-mahram. If there is any necessity, it's something else. And even then it is said that, the women, for example, especially, they shouldn't use, soft voice when they are talking to na-mahram man. They should be harsh. فَلَا تَخْضَعْنَا بِالْقَوْلِ. Your voice shouldn't be very soft and melodious. Try to make it stern. We shall read that ayah also. وَالْيَدُ زِنَاهَا الْبَطْشِ. If you are holding the hand of a na-mahram woman, your hand has committed zina. The feelings are there. Only touching a na-mahram. This is also a preliminary step. It would take you nearer and nearer to zina. Al-yadu zinaha al-batsh. That is why the Prophet ﷺ, please note, he never shook hand with any woman. La usafihu nisa. When he was accepting the bay'ah from men, he used to shake hand. But it so happened, when some women came and they took that oath of allegiance and obedience to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one of the women said, "Ukhruj yadaka ya Rasulallah, nusafir." Now stretch your hand, stretch your arm, O Messenger of Allah, so that we can shake hands. He said, "La usafiru nisa." The Prophet said, "I don't shake hands with women." What did he used to do? A cloth, piece of cloth. One end of the cloth the Prophet took in his hand, and the other was in the hand of the woman. But the hands were not touching each other. Or there was, some utensil in which was water. The Prophet, he dipped his hand on this side of that utensil, and the woman who was taking that oath, that bay'ah, she dipped her hand on the other side of the utensil. The hands were not touching. وَالْيَدُ زِنَاهَا الْبَطْشِ وَالرِّجْلُ زِنَاهَا الْخُطَوْ. When somebody is going towards someone, to meet her, to see her, to talk to her, to familiarize, to socialize with her, well, his legs are committing zina. Every step that he is taking in that direction, that's zina. This hadith I told you, it is hadith Sahih from Abu Hurairah, included in the Sahih of Imam Muslim, rahimahullah. The topmost collections of authentic ahadith are two. One of Bukhari and the other of Muslim, rahimahumullah. وَالرِّجْلُ زِنَاهَا الْخُطَأُ وَالْقَلْبُ يَهْوِي وَيَتَمَنَّى. And the heart desires and longs for that act of zina. وَيُصَدِّقُ ذَلِكَ الْفَرْجُ وَيُكَذِّبُهُ. You know, the sex organs either complete this act, or you know, there is some hindrance and the act is not completed. Although the legal, you know, application would be if that particular act of sexual intercourse had been taken, and that has taken place, then it is zina, legally zina. But morally, ethically, in principle, all these things are included by the Prophet ﷺ in zina. But this is the moral aspect, not legal aspect. فَالْعَيْنَانُ زِنَاهُمَا النَّظْرُ وَالْأُذُنَانِ عَيْنَهُمَا زِنَاهُمَا الْإِسْتِمَاعُ وَاللِّسَانُ زِنَاهُ الْكَلَامُ وَالْيَدُ زِنَاهَا الْبَطْشُ وَالرِّجْلُ زِنَاهَا الْخُطَى وَالْقَلْبُ يَهْوِي وَيَتَمَنَّى وَيُصَدِّقُ ذَلِكَ الْفَرْجُ وَيُكَذِّبُهُ. So this is actually, these are the preambles, the preliminaries which take you towards zina. So stop there. It's so wicked a thing, so wretched a thing. You have to stop at a safe distance from it. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا.